In this battle, I'll try the new Colchis, or Colchea, or however we want to pronounce it, Colchea, Colchis, against the Seleucids. And I brought a fairly axe-heavy army, bringing a total of 10 axes, or did I bring 12? I might have brought 12 axes, yep, I brought 12 axes, and 3 eastern spears, 3 horse archers, and 2 noble blood. My Seleucid opponent has 4 pikes in the center, backed up by Persian light archers and Syrian heavy archers. He also has some Thureos on the flanks, thorax swords, 2 Hellenic cataphracts, and some Median cavalry. Now it looks like the main engagement is going to happen just about over here, since we both have our armies rushing towards the hill here. This is good terrain for me to fight in, because it's going to limit the effectiveness of both his skirmishers and his cataphracts, so pretty good. And he can't see these units, I can only see his units because I used my horse archers to scout. So he's basically just seeing this, and then all of a sudden he's going to see these guys coming over the hill, eastern spears with the chevron there. So he's going to move towards my eastern spears. I'm just going to pull them away. No need to engage pikes head on. But I'm just going to keep my eastern spears there to sort of disorient the pikes a bit, and I'm going to take fire when I pull back, but I need to pull back from the front of the pikes. I have my axemen in the center. I'm sending my Kartli axemen around the flanks to do the maximum amount of damage, and I just want to hold these guys here. And as you can see, just throwing their precursor javelins is pretty devastating to these pikes. So this is why I pulled them back and why I'm holding them here, so they can just throw their javelins into the pikes that are engaging the eastern spears. So I'm doing quite a bit of damage here, charging into these Thureos. The Thureos should die quickly to my axes. Getting in at some weird angles over here. Fighting off the Thureo spears with the Kartli axemen should be a fairly quick and brutal fight. Over here, I'm not really sure how Kartli axemen are going to do against thorax swords, especially not in this type of terrain, because, well, the terrain modifiers are obviously a factor, and I have a pretty compact formation. It looks like my opponent has formation attack on though, or maybe he just didn't get the charge off. Not quite sure what happened. So here my guys are going to be able to make it through the pikes, and that's a death sentence for the pikes. The Thureos are holding out for longer than I thought they would against these. They are losing heavily though. Kartli axemen managed to move around the flanks. I did send my noble blood general and my noble blood cavalry into this blob, which was not the best of ideas, because I'm going to lose my general, but it's going to give me time to win the infantry fight in the center, and I don't want to have too many rear charges happening while I'm engaging pikes frontally. Here is going to trample with his general. I'm going to turn around and activate shield wall, probably a bit late, but yeah, a bit late, but it doesn't look like he got the best of charges there, kind of got stuck a bit, and that allows me to pour in with eastern spears and also pour my axemen down here because they won the fight. Going to use this unit of Kartli axemen to push back his skirmishers. His Persian light archers are going to die to my horse archers. But I need to stay away from his Syrian heavy archers because they are going to destroy my guys. The axemen here, they routed without doing much because they were engaged against pikes frontally, and this is the only way pikes are going to get kills, fighting downhill against the unit that is engaged frontally. So I probably should have pulled back a bit more there. Over here the fight is pretty even between the axemen and the thorax. Winning against the Thureos finally. More Hellenic cataphract charges coming in. Not getting a huge amount of kills and getting countercharged by these axemen. They should do nicely against the Hellenic cataphracts because of their high armor piercing damage. Also, the Hellenic cataphracts don't have the best melee defense. So losing some Hellenic cataphracts, not really getting a huge amount of kills with them. My horse archers, I'm saving them to pick off any units in the late game. The Persian light archers are getting shot to pieces. Slowly the axes are chopping through the Seleucid lines. The general is desperately trying to get in the rear charges he needs to save his men, but doesn't look like it's going to be enough. The slow Hellenic cataphracts are being charged by axemen here. Let's see if they're able to take down this cataphract. Yep, cataphract went down. The axemen are winded, but the Hellenic cataphracts are exhausted, so they're going to be very slow and not very effective in combat. Costly axemen under fire. These guys have chased the archers all the way across the map. But overall, although my center was held in place by the pikes and is in some places still being held, my opponent had nothing to stop me from going around his flanks and from engaging his units piecemeal, which turned into his undoing in this battle. His Median cavalry doing well, managed to get a rear charge on my axemen to save his Hellenic cataphracts, so that was pretty nice. But I have a lot of units available to come in and help. I'm also going to charge the Syrian heavy archers with my horse archers, mainly just to stop them and to get a few kills. I'm not going to kill a whole lot of units, but I just wanted to try to break them instantly. But yep, worked. So now there's only this unit left, and over here things are looking fine. He has some cavalry left, but his cataphracts are quickly dying. Over here I think I have enough units and enough of an advantageous situation that I don't need to be worried about these few remaining cavalry units, although this unit of axemen is starting to waver. His general is quickly becoming shish kebab under the axis of my Kartli. And over here there are units of Median cavalry and Hellenic cataphracts left on the field, but this is one of those maps where you kind of can get away with not having many skirmishers and not having a lot of cavalry, because, well, I did have 5 cavalry units, but usually the fight is on this hill or somewhere around this hill, and having a lot of infantry really helps in this scenario. So 12 axes, bit of a weird thing to have really, because then you have 12 units that specialize in taking out heavily armored units, and against any other faction than Rome, or yeah, maybe mostly Rome, you won't really see an army just consisting of a lot of heavily armored units. But still, the axes are pretty nice units. High melee attack, and while the weapon damage is low, they do have a lot of armor piercing. So, here we go. Colchis won over the Seleucids here. Would have been interesting to see how they could do against chariots. They do have the shield walls, so that could potentially help. Finishing off some cataphracts over here, it looks like. But I'm liking Colchis a lot more than I thought I would, because the combination of axes, horse archers, and there isn't a huge difference between them and, let's say, Armenia, but I quite like them. They can have noble blood general. So if we pull them up here, let's see. They can have the noble blood cavalry general. They can have Colchia nobles. They have Payas lancers, and they have your base hoplites and Colchia nobles. So pretty, not the most diverse roster for them, but they do have some nice units in all categories. Bit lacking in foot skirmishing, but they have decent choices. So that's it for Colchis. In the next battle we'll take a look at one of the other new factions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the battlefield.